So as you guys can see here, Shedeur's throwing passes to Jerry Jeudy, which is a good look, man. Which is a good look.
I'll say mentally, and I'm not talking about on the field. I'm talking about more off the field.
The haters are in a state of complete and utter shock right now. Shedeur Sanders walked into the Browns practice and immediately started throwing a series of elite-level passes to Jerry Jeudy, looking for all the world like he has been in the league for years. The reporters have frozen in place, the other players have all turned their heads, and the very same people who so confidently swore that he was not NFL ready have all suddenly gone completely quiet, real fast. Every single one of his throws looks sharper, faster, and more confident than ever before. And that burgeoning chemistry with Jeudy, it looks dangerously good already. If this is what Shedeur looks like before the season has even officially started, then the Cleveland Browns might have a real and significant problem on their hands. So, do you think he will start against the Baltimore Ravens? Is this the kind of performance that will finally force the coaching staff to completely rethink the entire quarterback room? Shedeur completely shocked the entire Browns facility today when he stepped onto the field and began to throw a series of elite, clean, and laser-sharp passes to Jerry Jeudy. The very first clip of the practice shows Shedeur looking calm. He is focused, and he is fully in control as he fires off a series of NFL-level throws that had both his teammates and the reporters in attendance all turning their heads. This single moment hits even harder when you remember everything that he has been through in the past year, the constant and often unfair criticism, the non-stop and ever-present doubters, the pervasive talk that he was simply not ready, and of course, the injury lore that had nearly stopped his entire football journey in its tracks. He has gone from a series of painful hits, of limited movement, and of weeks of arduous recovery, to walking out onto the field today and dropping a series of NFL-level throws that look completely and utterly effortless. For a rookie who was so relentlessly questioned at every single step of the way, this single clip feels like a powerful and definitive statement, a real one. And after all of this, Shedeur now talks about being mentally stronger off the field. Before today, absolutely nothing about his path has been easy. He has had to deal with people who were saying that he was soft, with a media that was saying that he had too much hype, and even with moments in the city of Cleveland where he was not being given the full and complete confidence of the coaching staff. At one particular point, Kevin Stefanski had even said that Shedeur was not his focus, a comment that only served to add more fuel to the already raging fire of noise that was surrounding him. Then, the Cleveland Browns kept on losing games that they were not supposed to lose, like the game against the New England Patriots, where the entire offense had completely fallen apart, and the game against the New York Jets, where the team had looked completely and utterly lost once again. The fans were frustrated, the analysts were loud, and everyone kept on asking the same persistent question: when would Shedeur finally get his chance? Today's clips now feel like his definitive answer. He did not have to speak loud because his throws did all of the talking for him. And this is precisely where the situation becomes so spicy. All of this is now creating a completely different and far more positive energy around the Cleveland Browns. The team has struggled mightily. The pressure on the coaching staff has grown to an almost unbearable level, and the entire quarterback room has been completely filled with a sense of doubt, of confusion, and of palpable tension. But Shedeur, showing up to practice today, looking completely healthy once again, throwing the ball with an incredible amount of confidence, and talking about his newfound mental strength, and about building a real chemistry with Jerry Jeudy. All of it sends a powerful message that the entire league can now feel. This is not the same injured kid from last season. This is not the same rookie that Stefanski had so callously brushed off. This is a quarterback who now looks completely ready, both physically and mentally, to take complete and total control of a team that so desperately needs a sense of direction. The Cleveland Browns were in desperate need of a spark, and Shedeur might have just lit the match.
Well, I'll say, like, overall, I feel like I understand a little bit more, how to handle, like, different situations, and being the leader and understanding that you can't really give any, I don't know, my personality, I'm playful, you know what I mean? So I guess not everybody likes playful all the time. So it's to understand how to be, at all times, and, keep my personality
a little bit slimmer, I guess.
Because not everybody understands it at all times, and you may not have a full time to be able to explain things.
So what was your reaction to Rex Ryan's criticism?
So, you just trying to start something. You feel me? We not on no negativity from now on, man. We not doing that. I'm just here to be positive, and I don't speak on anything negative, you know, so.
Shedeur's recent comments show something that is very, very clear. He is growing, and he is growing fast, both as a player and as a person. When he talks about understanding situations better, about learning how to lead, and about adjusting his playful personality, it shows a level of maturity that many of the veterans in the league still seem to struggle with. He is openly admitting that leadership is not just about raw talent, it is also about knowing when to talk, when to stay quiet, and when to stay completely focused. The way that he now speaks about staying positive, about avoiding negativity, and about not feeding into the drama says absolutely everything about his current mindset. He is choosing discipline over ego, he is choosing growth over conflict, and he is choosing responsibility over making excuses. And after everything that he has had to face, the injuries, the online hate, the immense media pressure, and a locker room that was not always built to properly support him, this kind of profound self-reflection is the surest sign of a young quarterback who is now completely ready to lead, no matter how tough the surrounding environment may get. Meanwhile, his incredibly calm and mature attitude only serves to make Kevin Stefanski's recent behavior look even worse. While Shedeur is out here talking about learning, about energy, and about leadership, Stefanski has spent the last few weeks actively avoiding any and all questions about him, deliberately dodging his own quarterback's name, and even going so far as to say, "Shedeur is not my focus." For a head coach who is already under a significant amount of fire for a series of back-to-back losses, for his bad game plans, and for having a team that keeps on collapsing in the most key of moments, completely ignoring a young quarterback who is so clearly trying to improve, simply does not look good. The Cleveland Browns' recent struggles against both the New England Patriots and the New York Jets have served to expose the coaching issues, not the quarterback issues. Stefanski's cold and distant approach has only served to create more confusion rather than to instill any kind of confidence. And now that Shedeur is so clearly showing his own maturity and his own sense of responsibility, it only makes the coach's complete and utter lack of support stand out even more. A true leader should be lifting his players up, not hiding behind them. And then of course you have got Gabriel, the guy who keeps on throwing his weak and unfounded criticisms around, as if he is some kind of a football genius. While Shedeur is out here talking about leadership and about personal growth, Gabriel is out there trying to stir things up with his lazy takes and his messy opinions that never seem to match up with the actual reality of the situation. His video clips and his subsequent breakdowns have been by far the worst on the entire staff, and everyone in the entire world knows it. He talks a tough game, but his analysis of the game rarely ever matches what is actually happening on the field. Shedeur, by calling out all of the negativity without ever having to name any names, is already telling you exactly who he means. Gabriel has been pushing for more drama, while Shedeur has been pushing for more progress. And when the rookie quarterback is now showing more maturity than the so-called experts who are all around him, it becomes very, very clear who is actually built for this moment and who is just out here talking for the sake of getting some attention.
This moment, and who is just talking for attention.
Earlier today, we had Tommy Rees pretty much making every excuse in the world for Dylan Gabriel and pretty much hesitating to speak on Shedeur Sanders' name. Tony Rizzo spoke about this yesterday. I've been noticed them not saying Shedeur's name.
Earlier today, the established pattern became even clearer. Tommy Rees once again kept on finding a series of soft and flimsy excuses for Dylan Gabriel, all while deliberately avoiding Shedeur's name as if it were some kind of a problem. But this is not new. The so-called analysts, the coaches, and the insiders have all been doing this very same thing for weeks now. They talk around Shedeur, they do not talk about him, and instead of giving him the fair credit that he so clearly deserves for all of his hard work, or for acknowledging the incredible plays that he is making, they just keep on protecting the other quarterbacks on the roster, who have not shown even half of what he has. This sustained and deliberate silence feels incredibly intentional. It feels as though they are all scared to admit that a rookie that they had all tried to overlook is now slowly but surely becoming the single most talked about player in the entire building. When a young quarterback shows such a clear sense of leadership, of growth, and of confidence, he deserves the full and unwavering enduring support of his team, not to be avoided. And seeing this kind of selective silence only serves to make Shedeur's own progress stand out that much more, because he is the one who is bringing the real energy, the real improvement, and the real professionalism to the team. But the biggest and most pervasive issue here is that Kevin Stefanski is actively letting this toxic environment grow, instead of just shutting it all down. A true head coach should be building a sense of trust within his locker room. He should be creating a sense of clarity, and he should be supporting every single one of his players who shows any kind of potential. Instead, Stefanski is allowing a series of mixed messages, of flimsy excuses, and of blatant favoritism to shape the entire conversation. The Cleveland Browns are losing games that they absolutely should be winning. The offense looks completely flat, and the entire quarterback room is incredibly tense, and yet the head coach continues to act as if simply acknowledging Shedeur's name is somehow optional. That is not leadership. That is actively avoiding reality, and while they all keep on trying to hide him behind a series of flimsy excuses for the others, Shedeur just keeps on working, he keeps on improving, and he keeps on showing that he just might be the very spark that this team so desperately needs. It is now getting harder and harder for them to pretend that he is not ready, and it is getting even harder for the fans not to notice what is really going on here. So do you think that they are avoiding Shedeur because they are afraid that he will take the job? And do you think that Stefanski can continue to keep on dodging his name if the team continues to keep on losing?
And you take a sack there as well. You're lucky that the field goal unit rushed onto the field and made a miraculous kick with about a half a second left on the clock. It's situational is what my issue is with it.
At that point, the game is tied 17-17, and you're unhappy with that.
I'm unhappy because he took a sack that could have caused them not to tie it. Like this, they're lucky that they got that off.
Come on, you guys. You're sounding ridiculous, Nick. Come on. He's a third-round rookie, and is playing his fifth game of his life in the NFL, and you're quibbling that he was lucky to get that.
Tony was lucky.
This single incident shows exactly why the Cleveland Browns offense just keeps on falling apart, and the frustration that is being felt by the fans is absolutely real. Dylan Gabriel took an absolutely crucial sack, with the game tied at 17-17, a single mistake that could have very easily prevented the field goal unit from even getting on the field in the first place. It was not a smart play, it was not situationally aware, and it was simply not what an NFL quarterback is supposed to do in that particular moment. The only reason the Cleveland Browns even survived that play was because the field goal unit had to sprint out onto the field and then managed to save the entire drive with a miracle kick right at the buzzer. That is not a sign of poise or of growth. That is just pure and unadulterated luck. And pointing that out is not being harsh. It is simply being honest. Gabriel just keeps on getting protected by a series of flimsy excuses, of soft takes, and of lowered expectations, and it is hurting the team far more than it is helping it. But then of course Tony Grossi has to jump in, acting as if Gabriel is some kind of a victim, and not just a quarterback who has made a bad decision. He then throws out the same tired old line. He's a rookie, he's young, he's only played 5 games, as if those same excuses do not get old after the 5th time that the exact same mistakes continue to happen. And here's the real and underlying problem. Kevin Stefanski is the one who is enabling all of this. He just keeps on running this offense as if Gabriel is completely untouchable, as if the job simply belongs to him, no matter how many sacks he takes or how many drives he stalls. The head coach is allowing these same moments to repeat themselves, simply because he refuses to challenge Gabriel in the same way that he so clearly challenges all of the others. Gabriel gets the excuses, Gabriel gets the protection, Gabriel gets the sympathy, but the team just gets the losses. And that is exactly why the Cleveland Browns are so completely and utterly stuck right now. They have a head coach who will not take any real responsibility, and they have a quarterback who just keeps on getting bailed out by everyone but himself.
Claims that we started something yesterday when I revealed that he hasn't called Shedeur by name, and people went back to the last 8 Stefanski press conferences and he has not called Shedeur by name. Like it became a thing.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yesterday.
That seems like a normal, healthy thing going on in the building. Some of this veil of secrecy, the mysteries surrounding the team and Shedeur and the quarterback situation and the press conferences being just painful and that's also not helping the whole situation.
Stefanski is just Belichick with a better press agent.
This single fact shows exactly why the immense frustration that is surrounding the Cleveland Browns just keeps on growing. When people went back and they checked 8 full Stefanski press conferences, and they found that he had never once said Shedeur's name, it only served to confirm what the fans had already sensed for a very long time. Something is just off inside that building. A head coach who is actively avoiding his own quarterback's name is simply not normal. It is not healthy, and it is not something that winning teams do. It only serves to create a sense of confusion, of mixed messages, and of a whole lot of unnecessary tension. When the public sees all of this mystery, all of this silence, and all of these evasive answers, they naturally start to ask a lot of questions. And when the head coach just continues to act as if everything is perfectly fine, it only serves to make the entire situation look even worse. A young quarterback who is trying to earn a sense of respect should not have to fight his way through a wall of secrecy from his own coaching staff, and the comparison that they have made is a painfully accurate one. Stefanski is acting in the very same cold tone, with the very same vague answers, but he is doing it all without any of the success to back it all up. His press conferences all feel more like puzzles than they do like actual communication, and this kind of behavior only serves to hurt the team, and it especially hurts Shedeur, who has shown far more honesty, far more energy, and far more leadership than the very person who is supposed to be coaching him. While Shedeur is out here growing, he is speaking clearly, he is owning up to his own mistakes, and he is staying positive, while Stefanski is out here dodging any and all questions and acting as if simply saying the kid's name is some kind of a crime. That is not leadership, that is just hiding. And when the coach is hiding while the rookie is stepping up, the entire city can see who it is that actually wants this team to get better. In the end, this single moment has served to prove exactly why the Cleveland Browns simply cannot keep on pretending that everything is perfectly fine. The endless excuses that are being made for Gabriel and the constant protection that he is being given by Stefanski are holding this entire team back, and until the coaching staff finally begins to demand some real accountability, these same late game mistakes will just keep on costing them. Make sure to subscribe and like for more of these breakdowns. So do you think that the Browns will finally bench Gabriel if this same thing happens again next week?